Hey guys, and welcome to my page. Today we're going to be talking about the iPad, and specifically we're going to be talking about the PaperLike Screen Protector. Now, I've been trying to figure out what the best way to write on a digital device is. So last week I made a video on the remarkable product, which is pretty remarkable, but I didn't really recommend it entirely. So if you haven't seen that video, go check that out, and let's dive into the iPad Pro and see if the screen protector really does what it says it does. So right off the bat, I noticed that the screen protector was a little harder to put on just because it's a screen protector for a large screen. You're prone to getting bubbles in there somewhere, and that's just a part of screen protectors. So that's not really a downside for the PaperLike, but in general, that's something to be cautious of if you're getting a screen protector for this device. Now, a lot of screen protectors are tempered glass, which makes it easier to install because it's not like flimsy or whatnot, but this screen protector isn't glass. So it's supposed to mimic paper, it has the texture of paper, and it's going to be floppy like paper. So when you're installing this, you're going to have to be really careful and make sure you get the bubbles out, because if you have bubbles in there, you're definitely not going to enjoy this experience. So now let's talk about the writing experience, because this is the part where you're going to do all the work. This is the whole point and the purpose of the device. So how is the writing? What did I think of when I started writing? So right off the bat, I started writing and I felt it was pretty good. Just starting off, I was like, okay, there is some resistance to it. It's pretty nice, but the pen is still slippery. So I went on a mission to figure out how I can fix that. And I got the idea after using the Remarkable pen on the iPad. Now, I know the Remarkable pen doesn't work with the iPad, but the texture was still very nice. So I thought maybe I need to replace the pencil nib. So that's when I decided, let me get a flatter head from Amazon. I'll put the links for the screen protector and the nib in the comments or in the caption below. But I put on a new nib and the game just changed right off the bat. As soon as I applied this new pen nib, I noticed that the surface of the pen was a little flatter. Like before, it was a lot sharper, so that made it a lot more slidey-widey and kind of slippery. But now that I have a slightly broader edge to it, it creates more friction, more surface area. So every time I'm writing, it slows down. It's not as slippery and zoopery and whatever. So that changed the experience. That made the paper feel so much better than it already was. So before I got the pencil nib, I thought, okay, this was a solid maybe 50-60% like paper. Not amazing, it wasn't extraordinary. But once I applied the nib, it went to like 75-80%. Like, it feels very, very nice. Now, I will say, the texture of the screen protector does dull the screen a little bit. So what I mean by that is, of course, you're having texture on the screen protector. There's going to be friction, there's resistance, and that's going to change the HD-ness of your screen. So if you're using this for a lot of browsing, a lot of streaming, this might not be for you, because a year ago, I actually purchased the screen protector and I thought, okay, this is kind of nice, the writing is okay, but everything's not crisp anymore. And I needed that, I wanted that at that time. But now my priorities have shifted, so now I'm trying to go towards a writing approach. And in this approach, the dullness doesn't matter. It actually helps, because now the screen isn't as reflective, there's less of a glare, so it makes it easier to write. There's better resistance, there's a better overall feel to the iPad. So depending on your priorities, your preference for that screen is going to change, and you're going to like this or not like this based on how much you want to write and how much you're using this as a productivity device rather than an entertainment device. Now, I have noticed when I'm doing my work, when I'm typing and stuff, it's a lot better with the screen protector. There's less of a strain on my eyes, so that's a side benefit. But overall, this pencil feel does feel really nice. I would definitely consider drawing on this and definitely consider taking notes by hand on this device. So overall, if you're trying to shift your iPad into a productivity tool and use it less for streaming, then I think this screen protector is great. And especially when I'm comparing to the Remarkable or other written products, this thing costs about $40 for I think 2 or 3 screen protectors, and the pencil nib is about $10-ish. So if you're spending $50 total and you have a whole written tablet device, I think that's definitely worth it compared to the Remarkable, which is upwards of $500. And I feel like getting an iPad that's able to write is so much better than having a device that you can only write and you can't do anything else. It's not even like a computer at that point. It's just a strictly written device, which is fine in its own right, except the money and financials doesn't really add up for those. But again, you can watch that in my Remarkable video because I have some issues with the prices. Now, another side note is that the PaperLike bundle is a little more expensive, but there are other knockoffs. I think there was one called Paper Feel, and that one also does a great job. I've used that in the past, and I also like that a lot. So I would say you can spend anywhere between $25 to $50 on this and get some really good writing experiences from this device. And I would recommend that for basically anyone that wants to get into writing, taking notes by hand, or even scheduling and stuff by hand on a notebook. Now guys, next week I'm going to be making a video side-by-side comparison of the Remarkable and the iPad PaperLike Screen Protector. So if you want to tune into that, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video, hit that like button if you learn anything, and I'll see you in my Remarkable video or my Kindle video, which is my favorite product to this day. So check these out and I'll see you there.